Thank you. I see that one of the concerns that Home Affairs has put forward is this continued line that we get from government agencies in the context of this, that there are some concerns that AI bots are making applications. And am I correct that you don't have any numbers? You can't point to any individual example, but is there a sort of vibe here?
Section. What section? There is no one section. It's just the vibe of the thing.
An AI bot vibe that we should be aware of?
Thank you, Senator. You're correct to say that we don't have any numbers of our system being approached by bots. But I think in our submission, the point we were trying to make is that that is a risk that we could be approached by bots. And at the moment, we wouldn't necessarily know unless we can see a lot of repetition on a particular thing.
You know, I don't think it would be revolutionary to put in place a capture provision on a department's website, which seems to be able to be put in place in countless other form-based websites and countless other places. Have you considered doing that off-the-shelf technology to try and protect the department from bots?
I think at the moment, Senator, we actually have a procurement process underway for a new FOI case management system for the department. I can't speak to that specifics. I'll see if Ms Saunders can add anything.
The other point just to add, Senator, is that we have multiple avenues through which people can submit an FOI request, so by mail, email, or via an online form. If the department were able to direct all applicants to use an online form, that would be a way that we could then employ some technology to do those checks.
I don't think AI bots are going to be putting it in the snail mail, though, are they? That's an unlikely problem, unless you're aware of some, mailing AI bots that I'm not aware of.
That's correct, Senator. We wouldn't expect a bot to be putting it through the snail mail, but the point I was making was that if we were able to direct all applicants to put their submission through the online form, we could then use technology to assist us in order to identify whether or not a bot was submitting those requests.
Well, even if you had concerns, having some process to go through a capture process, which would be a far different set of reform packages than what we've got with this bill, isn't it?
We take your point, Senator.
It would be very different to what this bill is proposing, a modest change like that.
I'll reserve my opinion. I'm not going to offer an opinion on that. Thanks, Senator.
You are aware, though, aren't you, that AI bots have no right to get access to information? That if you can identify a request that's come from an AI bot, you simply don't have to process it because the Freedom of Information Act only gives a right to information to people, to persons. AI bots have no such right. You're aware of that, aren't you?
I think the point we were trying to make, Senator, is that the validity request at the moment is quite simple. It doesn't require too much information from the requester. So the advantage of the bill in requiring identity, and as Ms Saunders has said, if we can institute some more requirements in the submission of a request, this will help us in identifying where things have come from.
I'm just checking. I'm assuming Home Affairs has provided some input into this bill. You're one of the agencies that provided input about your, concerns about foreign bots, your concerns about foreign agents. So I'm assuming you've had some input into this bill, is that right?
We have been consulted on the bill's development, yes.
And in the course of doing that, did you remind all the agencies and give them some clear, unambiguous advice that there is no obligation to process any Freedom of Information application that comes from an AI bot because they're not a person and they don't have a right to access to information under Section 11 of the Act? Have you given that unambiguous and clear advice to other government agencies?
Senator, I haven't, and the advice and support that we've sort of given AGD in the development of the bill has been wide-ranging. Ms Saunders...
So let me get this right. There's all this agitation, all this heat and light from the government, including coming from Home Affairs about fears of AI bots and the impacts that it'll have on FOI. And no, Home Affairs hasn't at least ever provided advice that actually you don't need to process something from an AI bot. That information hasn't hasn't come from Home Affairs. Is that right?
As I said, Senator, I only can speak for myself. We've given a whole bunch of case information to AGD, so perhaps I'll take your question on notice.
Have you got it from any other department? Has Home Affairs got it from the Attorney General's department, which has also been running the AI bots, or from Minister Butler's department, who's been running the AI bots argument? Has any part of government said you don't have to process FOIs that come from AI bots that you're aware of?
Not explicitly, but everybody that is currently processing FOIs under the FOI Act, we are aware that you do not have to provide information if it's not to a human. So,
Well, perhaps you can provide me with where that's put in a policy document, where that's been put in a communication, or where that's been said in any kind of official way in the last 12 months, given how much we've heard from the government about concerns about AI bots. Could you take that on notice?
Yes, Senator, we can take that on notice to see whether we've made that explicit in our information that we provided to the Attorney General's Department or others.
I'd be happy if it was implied or rumoured or referred to in an oblique way.
Senator, I think it's definitely been applied. Ms Saunders has said that, you know, people are aware of that, so I don't know that it's been discussed explicitly.